All right, we're here in the beautiful Shanghai, enjoying some of the park culture. As you can see, we are approaching winter, and it's a little cloudy, so there's not too many people out here. But we thought it would be a good day to come out, talk about probably the most important thing I would say a foreigner needs to understand about being in this country, or even interacting with people from this country, because Mianzi knows no borders. Okay,
Yeah.
wherever there's people who have been socialized into this idea of face, wherever they are, it will impact how they interact with others and how they interact with you. So it is probably the most important thing to understand, I would say. There are so many facets to it as well. And I kind of want to see where we go with this first conversation because this is not, I don't think this is going to be the face or the Mianzi episode because I think there are, again, so many components of it that we're not going to fit it all in within whatever the 20 or 30 minutes we're hoping for it to be here. So we'll just see kind of where we go with it. But Mianzi, face, you've probably heard of it. If you are learning Chinese, it's one of the things you'll learn in a textbook. But even if you've learned about it, you've read about it, you've heard of it, I guarantee until you've come here and lived some time and lived through the, dare I say, some traumatic experiences you might have because of this concept and how it has its absolute grips on the lives of Chinese people and how they interact socially, you don't actually fully understand it. So we're going to attempt to give you some of this intel, but again, I warn you, by the end of this episode, you're still not going to fully grasp what the idea of Mianzi or face is because you have to go through those experiences and sit through those dinners and see how people interact with each other to truly understand. But could you, as our expert here, the one who grew up in this world, can you give a basic idea of what this term is and what it means?
Well, thank you for all of your the background information for our audience. So I think in short, means like for me it would be like I think it's the way how people think they are perceived by the others and the society. So means is like also it's like something I guess it's also like if you everyone can understand means they will get to the bottom root of the Chinese philosophy. So for to me means will be like something like you cannot get rid of. The moment you get to the world, means is everywhere.
That's true. It is everywhere.
Yeah.
It is quite literally everywhere.
So I actually talked about this with my other Shanghainese friend before because we're being like, actually like the Mianzi stuff can be like it's sometimes like double-edged sword for us. A lot of people living here. Sometimes when like for example, we feel like as a young people, we feel like Mianzi like have a lot of beneficial stuff for the older people, because actually because they struggle Mianzi more. And for example, like I feel like sometimes Mianzi to them and to us have the different meanings. Like for us, we feel like it's like a kind of a social obligation. We have to give the senior people like more means. It's a way of show like, our respect to them. Yes. So you can say like to them, to the older people, to the senior people, they all be like 面子 equals to respect, which leads to the consequence like, especially for young people, horrible if you don't know how to interpret it means in different contexts, especially in the workplace. We have a lot of these kind of things on the internet, so I won't bring in a lot of examples. You can just Google it online. We see a lot of people who just who like the millennial, like young people or the Z generation, they have different opinions on that. So that's the conflict actually we have right now. So yeah, I know. I feel like for us, like in short, like we feel like 面子 is like something like you're. Yeah, as I say, it be interpreted into different meaning in different contexts. So if you do it wrong, if you interpret it as just something like unnecessary, just some kind of like social etiquette, it'll be totally wrong. It has something more than that.
Yeah, again, like as I was talking about, I have certain feelings about Mianzi, and I think we actually share our opinions on it. And so you are right; it is something that is super serious and ingrained in the older generation and less so in the younger generation. And that's something we'll talk about another time, is that a lot of these interplays of these foundations of Chinese culture are starting to like lose the hold of younger people. That's for a myriad of reasons, again, that we will discuss later. But this is something that probably over the age of like, this is 2024, probably over the age of 40-ish, right? It's something very serious. Whereas I think you get below that 40 mark, it's like, it's there and you understand it, but it's not like for the older generation, if they lose face, right, in an interaction, they'll actually like, you can almost see people like visibly like pout and be upset. Like it's a very serious deal, and they'll never interact with you again, right? So that's why I think it's good you brought up like people your age, our age, but your age in the sense of the younger Chinese generation are not taking it as seriously anymore. So this is something really you only need to stress about when you're interacting with the older generation. And I think upon arrival in this country, understand the basics, which I think we should go over next. I think it would be good if you gave a quick introduction of, okay, if I only need to know the spark notes of what I need to do in order to properly give face to those who deserve it and not force those to lose it, because then it'll end up poorly for you. Understand that we can give you these basics, but really like you need to be in an observation mentality when you first get here when it comes to these kind of dinners, and you'll see people how you're at a dinner, right? And so like someone will stand up and they'll cheers that person and they'll talk about them and how great they are. And we do this like in Western culture, but it's more like this playful thing. It's much more intense here, and critical that you do it. And so just watch how these people do it, and the gift giving and the standing up and you are amazing and introducing the people and talking them up in like this like almost excessive way. But it's not excessive if you understand that what they are doing is actively giving you face in that moment. It's an appropriate amount. It's not necessarily excessive. So yeah, what can someone do when they first arrive in this country? They've heard face. They know it's important. They know it could actually ruin their. They could lose face if they don't give face in this country. So, what are some of the things a foreigner, when they first get here, what are the basics that they could look out for to do, to not to do when interacting with people to make sure that they don't lose face nor force others to lose face? Because we all want face.
Yeah,
all of
but
us.
thank you for bringing all this stuff. I would suggest at first, before I give you guys about any like sparkle things, like about the do and don'ts, I would prefer just give a short explanation about why, if you don't understand how important face the Mianzi are, will lead to like you're losing your faces, which means are super important. Whether you are working, study, or try to just negotiate with someone here. So the first is like, as you say, like if you don't give other people faces or Mianzi, you will lose your faces. So it's the kind of like, so the consequence. The worst case scenario of you don't give someone faces will lead to you lose your own faces, which can be interpreted in the context here will be you lose your kind of social credit. What I mean social credit is not something you can see visible in some system. Oh, this one minus 10 credit because he didn't give faces at some point. But the thing is, so generally, we should understand that in China, we perceive faces is something like how you like. It's something linked with your impression. From other people.
So reputation.
Reputation,
is
yes,
a good word too.
which is very important because here, like, when you're doing when you do something with some people, or you want to just generally know some background information about some people, the willingness of whether you want to get to make friends with them or do business with them, I mean, I can see it to a great extent will be dependent on this reputation, which to the root will be faces. So that's why it's very important to understand that the faces is super important. So it's also we can just. I think it would be a little bit complicated to know all this stuff. How about just perceive knowing that faces equal to how to respect to all the people.
Yeah.
Respect. And pay your respect to those people here.
Your face or someone's faces is translated to reputation. However, the concept of face is about how to socially interact with people in the realm of like respect.
Yes. And here, we think because if you're back to the Confucianism philosophy, which we still like have this society which is strongly rooted in this kind of philosophy, it's like everyone is actually linked to each other, which I assume like we'll have similar philosophy in the Western world. So I think everyone can get that. But here is how you link with other people has strong relationship to the faces.
Right.
So, say if like A and B and C, they are kind of some kind of connections. The way how to strengthen their connection depends on to what extent they think they are treated well, they're respected well. But the criteria will be faces. How they give each other faces and make sure they won't lose each other's faces. It's how linked with certain people. Especially these things will become extremely strong, especially when you're because apparently you don't need all the people the same amount of faces, which links to respect. So it only happens like pretty. It will be getting pretty intense. Well, when it comes to like you are going to strengthen the connection with your parents, your relatives, your co-workers, especially your seniors in your workplace.
Well, so before you go deeper into that, like I just said, I said in the beginning, I don't think this is possible to have an exhaustive episode on the concept of face because it is intertwined in everything. So two of them you just mentioned without mentioning them is guanxi. So this idea of relationships and how important that is. And then you just said like xiao, like filial piety, right? Like as far as the interaction with your elders. So again, Mianzi, it's just kind of built into everything, and all of these rules for social interaction in a country and society that perhaps maybe when it comes to business, right? Like you rely less on the ability to sue someone and take them to court because it's much more perhaps difficult to get that outcome you want to get. And it's more so, well, I'm just going to choose the right person from the beginning, right? So like I must understand the mianzi of this person, and the more mianzi, the more face they have, the more likely I am to trust them and interact with them. So again, it interplays with all these other concepts in which in the future we will discuss. But since we're probably going to bring up the concept of mianzi and face in the future, we thought this would be a better starting place. So when we say face, it's actually, again, not crystal clear, but you're a little more familiar with what we're talking about when we talk about that interplay in the future.
Yeah, so let's just, because, we don't want to try to go like too deeper into that concept. So I would just give some sparks for us to know. It's like maybe just list off some like of the scenario where.
Let's go over a scenario. That'd be great. Okay, so what's our scenario? Play it out. Play it out. What's our scenario? What do we got going on?
So what would you suggest would become?
I want to hear and then we can also role play a little bit because I'm not. I mean I. Honestly, I'm really not a fan of this concept, and you know that we've gone over this. I find it frustrating at times, and I think also maybe we talk about this later is the comparison of what we do in the Western world. It's like it's not that we don't do forms of this, but it is just we got someone else. Oh my goodness, we got a performance going on possibly. That might be an issue. We are in the park, we are out with the people, and on the weekend it does get rowdy. That was some intense feedback here. Where was I? I have no idea where I was. That was really distracting for me.
saying you're just not that into this concept.
I am not into this concept. That is correct.
That's why you were explaining more.
I was trying to forget about how much I don't like the idea of face because I don't want to talk poorly about it here. But yeah, let's play something out here.
Sure, that's why I maybe want you to help. Because for you, like you're obviously like
I'm putting my notes down so I can get into character here. All right, what's our situation? How about we're at a dinner? Okay, it could be a holiday dinner, it could be a business dinner. You're my boss. Okay. You are my boss, and we are having a dinner. There's 8 of us there total, and it is 4 of us from our firm and 4 from another firm. Okay, and we've already started eating, right? And so we've got the liquor starting to come out. We got some of the baijiu coming out. Basically it's like baijiu is white liquor. It's basically like it's a hard liquor. It's like 100 proof liquor at minimum. I've seen up to 160 proof liquor in this form. And so we're starting to pour it a little bit. Everyone gets a little glass. We're pouring it around the table. And you would probably start speaking because you're the authority figure in the room.
Hold on.
Okay.
So first, the scenario you bring up to, it's actually pretty. It's if we set up certain kind of level, it will be the most difficult
okay, well,
level,
we've already gone this
Chinese.
far. So basically, how Mianzi comes into this is we're going around the table. If we're all talking, at different points, everyone stands up and cheerses, and there's a bit of a speech or a toast or whatever. The way I would do it is I'm not going to, maybe should I stand up? Okay, I'm going to stand up. I don't want to ruin our mic here, or our chair. Maybe I'm not going to be in the frame. Okay, I'm going to sit down. That's not going to work. Okay. All right. Anyways, we have our drinks here, right? Mm-hmm. And so there are a couple ways in which face is going to come into this, okay? I've got my drink here, and I'm giving a speech. I'm so happy to be here with everyone today. We're happy to be working on this project with you and your cooperation or whatever. I want to give my special thanks to Phoebe for organizing all of this and giving us all the opportunity to come here and work together. So, breaking the fourth wall. After giving the introduction, I talked about her first being the superior in the room, right? I'm giving you face.
Actually, I'm very sorry, but I have to point it out. Like
you think that's so? What did I do wrong? See, I don't even understand
normally,
face.
Yeah, I mean, so it's very remarkable that you remember to make sure that you give your boss faces. But the important thing on this kind of situation, if you want to give faces to your boss or a senior one, just let them. Also, you are mentioning about there are other people from the other, the other firm.
So wait, hold on. So I first need to give face to the guests then before the boss?
No, that's the first impression will be before you make any move. First, just ask your boss in privately. Ask later. This thing will happen before we do this toasting. Would you think it would be because normally the boss would make the toast.
You need to get pre-authorization from the boss. That's the first level of face.
Yeah, but normally most boss would prefer they do the toast because on the table for Chinese people, so the one who make the toast, who give the speech, who sit in the we call it in the center position.
Yeah.
Who come in the last minute we're considered as the people with the most respected people. So, and for the rest of people, we are giving this guy
So
faces.
In that situation, I might have just lost face by not getting pre-authorization from you, even though I was trying to give you face.
Yes.
I may have lost face because I didn't get your prior approval. Okay, let's get away from this scenario because I think we've demonstrated what we need to demonstrate in Face 101, which is what we're trying to do right now, is that it is unbelievably complicated.
Yes.
And it's something that, as I said in the beginning, you just have to have the instinct for. And I thought I had the instinct in this situation, but I had to get prior authorization and I wasn't aware of that. So I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad we got a trumpeter over here, so make sure you're speaking into the mic here. I don't want us to lose to the 80-year-old trumpeter over here in the pagoda. Okay. Do we even what can you? All right. The scenario was too complex. Do you have one that would be a little better for us to go for?
I would suggest maybe still. I mean, we can skip all of that.
Let's do a three people. Okay, we have A, B, and C. Let's do an A. Okay, all right. Let's start from the basics here.
Say if that like so we're just guests. So that one, so three people dinner. One is the host. Both of us are the guests.
One host, two guests.
Yes.
Okay, so we have an imaginary host.
Yeah.
Host meaning they invited us to the dinner. They are Qing woman. They're treating us. They're paying for it. They've chosen the restaurant. Yeah. They're ordering the food. We are there being dined, if you will. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So in that case, all we need to do is, for example, it's like they are normally we should let them choose whatever the dishes they want to pick.
Correct.
So that's giving them faces. Also, like whatever they choose.
We didn't even do anything, and we're already giving them face.
Yeah.
This is a better situation. Continue.
We just so there were girls come go like I was saying in Chinese. That's normally we're applied in this situation is 客随主便. 客 means guest, 随 means follow, 主 means host. 便 means at their convenience. So in that case, we apply this principle. 客随主便. Pretty easy, pretty concise.
Okay.
That's the way you give them faces. Also show our respect.
Right.
Then when it come to like as come to like someone to want to have that toast.
Right.
At this point should be. I mean, I don't want to make it complicated, but
it's already complicated.
I would suggest just as guests. One of the guests, usually it will be male, because it will like someone who might want to drink, but female will also be okay. Stand up, give a toast, especially express how you feel about like how grateful you are, how you feel happy to be invited to this place. Then which comes to the key part. That's it. See if it's a wine glass. You should just pull out. Max, could you help me to like pretend you are the host?
I'm the host. Okay.
You're the host.
All right. So now I'm the host. Okay.
And remember, why are you saying this? You should stand up before the host stand up.
Okay. Are we gonna stand? I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we're standing right now.
Yeah, we're standing right now.
We're actually gonna stand up, or we're already standing.
We're already standing.
We're already standing. We're standing right now. Okay.
Yes. So normally I will stand first.
Right.
Then the host will be, oh, you stand. I will stand.
Yeah.
So the reason why the host stand is they want to give me face because he show like, oh,
I definitely need to give you face.
Yeah.
That's
so now
sure.
we're equal. We both have to give our faces. I stand first, express my thankfulness, and the host also stand up, show the.
Before we do this though.
Yeah.
Are we equals? Are you a little older than me, or are we complete equals?
Exactly.
Are we peers, or just tell me, and then I will.
Now,
we'll do it, and then we'll explain what it is. Are we equals?
Now, say that if like the guest, the host is older. Say the first.
So I am older.
You are the host is older. You are older.
I'm a generation older. I'm treating a generation younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that case, now we're equal, but because you are older than me.
Let's cheers.
I want to show my respect to you. When I cheer, remember, the younger one always should lower their glass to it.
Yes.
But for the older one, if he want to show their respect, they would probably just like lower.
I would like. It's almost like jokingly do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like they know. I know that you're the ones giving me more face, but like I'll like play the game with you to like be like we're kind of equals, but we're not. I know we're not equals. So here, let's do it again. And they'll be like, oh, boom, 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 boom. And then, yeah. So it'll be like that.
Yeah.
It's,
make sure, but for young people, remember, even if your boss or the old people do that, make sure your wine glass always go a little bit lower. Make sure yours always lower than theirs.
We're gonna do a full episode on like dining etiquette, or perhaps we can do a full episode on face in dining etiquette. Very specialized. But again, like we're just trying to give different scenarios. All right, let's give a non-dining related scenario. Could we do that? Okay.
Non-dining scenario would be like
How about this? How about we have another 3-person scenario? Let's keep it basic.
Okay, 3-person scenario. Okay.
Person A introduced person B and C. Okay. In a context of, I think you guys would be a good match for whether it's, I'm not talking about like a blind date, but if it were to be like professionally, or you're studying the same thing, or you just personally probably be interesting friends to each other, right? And you begin to, let's say it is in a like a educational setting, right? So in a university, right, you pair these 2 people up. Oh, you guys are interested in being, maybe you'd be good friends or be able to work on this thing together, yada yada. From now on, person A is like still involved in this relationship, even if you don't ever see them again, in the sense of like, you almost always have to give credit to person A for putting and C together so well, right? And so practically, perhaps, how would that practically look in giving face to A in this situation?
Well, in that case, we still have like a very concise, short saying to generate that. So remember, before we said 客随主便 for the dining scenario.
Oh, we have another idiom for this scenario.
Yes, of
okay.
course we have hundreds of
Of course we do. Of course we do.
So for this one, we will have like, how do you say that? Well, I don't say if it's interpreted correctly, but will be like, 滴水之恩，涌泉相报 means even if they giving you like just like a drop of something like just like super like tiny favor, small favor, you still should like remember it as like a huge favor, because you know like without this person's help, even they just like help you guys to set up, like just help you pair you and like help you to reach out to other person, they still like give you their help, which means you should always remember them. And also like to our philosophy, like so like this behavior of like you always remembering the person who once just help you a little bit, which will not only just giving him he or her faces, but also give your own faces, because it's a remarkable move showing that you are the person who like super, like you're always being grateful.
And because you are grateful, you also gain face. In the act of giving face, you're it's not a zero-sum game. Okay? Yeah. When you give face, you also receive face by giving face. Yeah. But if you force someone to lose face, you lose face because now you're someone who forces others to lose face.
Yes, I would say they were considered as like compound interest things, because
right, it's not like, oh, I get to take this person's face, they lose face, so I get face. In a situation in which you were the reason someone lost face, you also lose face. If you're in a situation where you're the reason someone gained face, you also gain face for being someone who makes others gain face.
Exactly, and the fact is, if you do this kind of things more, actually. Whenever it's say if it's A, probably you will never see this A person again. But the philosophy here, why B and C should all be grateful to A, or remember her, but not to an extreme way, is because once I feel like it's also the way to maintain the relationship with this person, because it's not like just a one-time deal. Like, oh, you already help us, and we like thank you in whatever way, like a dinner or buy you some gift. Then it's over. No, it's not over. We should
it's
maintain
certainly
it.
Never over.
We should maintain it to
it's
make sure
over.
we all
it's
of us
over.
can make this stuff like being more beneficial to all of us. Well, and also speaking of that, I don't know how your people view this kind of stuff, but that's, like I said, it's a double-edged sword.
We certainly have general courtesies, and I'm almost looking at the camera as like, right, guys? Like we do this in the same sense, right? But it's here. It's from our perspective, like over the top, right? And I think there's also maybe this idea that if someone were to have done something to make the other lose face, I don't think our first instinct in our culture is like they meant to do this this negative thing to me, and like now I view them lesser and now I'm lesser because blah blah blah, they were able to do this to me and get away with it. Whereas like our first reactions might be like, well, they just might have just made a mistake, they might not have known, right? And it's not like this detrimental thing like it is here. I just think it's like amongst the older generation, it's super dramatic. It can be really intense. Like when if you didn't grow up in that world, like we have been in situations, and I'm about to introduce one situation in which your mother had to help us get out of it because we like didn't even know what was going on. It's the tea house in Guangzhou. Okay, so we were in Guangzhou. It was during the New Year, which is a time when people are really in like a festive gift-giving mood, right? And now that you know the basic principles of face, you know that gift-giving also means everyone's in a gift-receiving mood. And so we're in this tea house, a very, how would you describe this tea house?
But
Very traditional tea house.
Yeah, but also like so just before we just split more about this story things, we should also like mention like while we talk about this story, we actually bring up a different scenario, which is the gift giving part.
Yes, exactly. You're right. So we've done dining, we've done mutual introductions, and thus the A, B, and C are now intertwined forever as long as B and C are doing their thing. So we're in a tea house in Guangzhou. This is not. I don't think this is necessarily a tea house that those from outside the city to go to. We went to this tea house. Maybe I can put some of the footage in to share the vibe of this tea house. But it was only elderly people from the city of Guangzhou, and it was in this particular neighborhood in which things really remain, for lack of again, traditional. And so we're sitting down, and there's this older lady who appears to be a customer, but is also like helping out. And so our impression, I think, still is like, she's just a regular, but, oh, she worked there. She used to be a performer there. Right, so this tea house has like opera performances going on. And she used to be a performer there, but she was dining there, but also like cleaning up dishes and like all of that. And so she starts to interact with us a little bit. And what was the first thing that happened? I think, okay, one thing I'll also have to introduce is I think outside of Shanghai, I think the Shanghainese they are fundamentally wealthier. And so there's this idea that when there's a foreigner there, the Shanghainese aren't automatically like, oh, they are wealthier than us, in which some of the other parts of the countries, that's an automatic thought. However, a lot of people, even in Shanghai, still think that because at the end of the day, a large majority of the foreigners that are here are taking these expat positions that do pay well. So when they interact with foreigners, they are these like wealthy executive foreigners, and they think that's, oh, all the foreigners in Shanghai must be like that, which is not the case whatsoever, right? And so anyways, I think this lady has the idea that just because I'm a foreigner, perhaps I am wealthier, right? And so she sees that almost as a situation in which she can start to do this exchange of goods. And I don't know, maybe I'm viewing this wrong, but like she can almost extract something out of this, right? Is that fair to say? She sees this as an opportunity almost.
Yeah, also I was think like because one way just like view all these things like through after all this happened after. Yeah. It occurred to me that I just said because so she already had the assumption of like foreigners are wealthier.
So I think she goes, do you have any American money to share with me? Like this idea of like $1, right? But like not because of the monetary value, but just like an American dollar.
Sorry to interrupt. So before, I think the storyline we should be clear about. It's about the gift, the changing, and also included the gift giving stuff. So what happened first? So she made her offer first. like a ring.
Was that that was the first offer? Okay, so she gives me some like, she said it was a real gold ring. It was very clearly not a real gold ring, which is okay. I'm not gonna say this isn't a real gold ring because she would lose face, and I would thus lose face for pointing that out. She gives this ring. So you two decide to go downstairs to get some. There was like a snack store downstairs, right? So yes, this is what happened. You went down and bought a bag of snacks. And then instead of giving her a full one, you put some in a paper bag as like, because a full bag was kind of outrageous amount to give this lady. So you put it in this paper bag, right?
And also like so something happened before because so hold on, maybe I have the more clear storyline. Sorry, just trying to. So the first things happened is. So we are know everyone's position about this kind of stuff. So how Max view this all kind of gift giving at the time, it's totally, and also what I view this all thing is totally different from that granny. So at first the granny offered Max, which I'm absent because I'm going out for something. She offered like an old ring and Clanmate's golden one to Max. So Max took it. It's like the first gift.
I wish I had it. I still have it. I wish I brought it to that.
Okay. So after this all happened, and which I didn't know at the time. So because it's also like near the like spring festival time, also like this lady that been hanging out with us and helping out, especially helping out a lot of things, and help us to know like how to use the teapot things. Yeah. So we feel like also we should show our. Just like our gratitude, respect, and also it's near the spring festival. So I suggest maybe we should, because there's like super like famous snack, like old snack shop downstairs. Why not I just grab some? Also like but at first I just saw like maybe some candies and would be nice. So I go to shop. I think
So this is when you bought the full package, but it was a little too. It was like that's way too much. It's
you were agree with me that
too much for the ring, because the idea is you're returning the ring. Maybe it's a little higher, but it's not way higher, right? She gave the ring, so you give something of equal or greater value, but not that much greater. Okay, so you get the bag, and then you're like, okay, this is way too much. I'm gonna get this paper bag, and I'm gonna put some of the snacks in it and give it to her. Right?
Yeah, because I didn't know that they already have the first change about.
And so you come back up and you give this paper bag to her, and she just looks at it and pouts and walks away. And we look at each other like, whoa, what was that? And we look to your mother, and your mother goes, see, I told you. And we were like, what? She was like, you need to give her the unopened bag. You just you only giving her some of this in this paper bag is like, you're not worth this full bag. We had to like buy this and then take it out and only give you a little bit. And we were like, okay, that's like a little intense of a response. And so that's what I mean is that it's like, I guess I can see where she's coming from, but like she pouted and walked away and did not want to interact with us again. And this only resolved because your mother, as she normally is in these situations, was 1,000% right. So we had to take this lady downstairs and bring her to the shop and buy her 2 new bags to fix the situation.
Also, not just we bought it. We in order to show the respect, which I think, yes, I cannot agree with Mom, because in our philosophy, like giving some people, even for gifts, you can't give them just like, I don't know if it works in the Western culture. You can't give some people like an open one or just put some from the like a bigger packet. I don't know if it's also work the same.
Like, again, I think we have similar concepts, but it's not as dramatic, right? So like here, this idea of face is also very prevalent in gift giving, as we're discussing now, in the sense that like in the new year, you guys don't just give gifts, you guys give cash amounts of money to each other, right? And there's this idea of your social status, with the job you have and the money you make, and then your relationship with this person and how much money you decide to give to them and their perception of the amount compared to what they think you make. There's the element of face involved, because if you gave too little, they'd be like, well, what, am I not that important to this person, right? And then with meals, when you sit down, people, see the amount of food or the quality of food, at the end of the day, the cost of the food, as how much you respect the person that you're treating to this meal, right? So there's these elements of, and a lot of the time it is the amount of money, because money is a very important thing in this country, right? And a lot of the time it comes into play in quantifying your mianzi, quantifying the amount of respect you have for someone, right? In gift giving, in treating someone in these scenarios. And so yes, I guess we have it as well, but like, again, the fact that this lady just like pouted and walked away and we were done because of the mistake, I think we all decided it was your mistake at the end of the
Yeah, 'cause apparently at the time I didn't adjust my position well, because I should realize it's like, as we talked before, it's that when it comes to like people like older than you, it's not about her or his or her social status. As long as they're old, we should respect them. By respecting them, especially in the gift changing things, you should give them their unopened one, and also so the gift to them. And speaking of the faces, it's not about their, it's not about how like expensive, how big they are. It's really about the respect. So they view the gift as like a token of respect and their faces, their mianzi. So also you have the other of their friends like are near us. So we assume she might feel like the reason why make her like so furious will be like all her other friends are like, oh,
others might have also seen that we didn't properly
yeah,
respect her.
So she thinks it's unfair to just have this kind of like unrespected treatment after she has been hanging out such a long time. The amount of the things she's spent with us. So how we resolve that is, mom take care of her. Actually, just grab her arm, not grab her arm. How do you say that? Like, just help her like get downstairs, and kindly ask her and let her choose those snacks.
And she just chose whatever she wanted.
And also like, there's another dramatic habit which I think clearly, like explain how people should treat the old one.
Oh my God, they just cut in line, and these people that are probably our age were like, hey, like there's a line. And I think I got kind of involved, and I was like, started yelling at them in manner, and I'm like, are these older people like respect your elders, blah blah blah? They should be able to go whatever, because they were kind of being rude in the.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, even people like you can see how people like so like obligated with this kind of like the faces criteria, and they all know it equals to respect and also to their own social reputation. So the moment after Max said, oh, because she's old, we should respect the old, all people suddenly just shut up.
Yeah. Because if you, it's again, it was already kind of rude with them because clearly these people are older than them. But then when someone makes the point that, hey, they are older, like you should probably watch your mouth and wait in line. If they were to have disrespected that, they would have lost face. So
also like, because we're not talking about a lot of stuff, I also want to make it clear this things is only, it's just like an individual case. So it doesn't relate it to.
That's the issue. So so again, related to what I said in the very beginning, and we are going to start to wrap this up. So I'll make it clear again. This was introduction to the concept of mianzi. There is not a formula for if this happens, you do this. It is a feeling you have to develop. It is almost an emotional intelligence level, right? Concept. And so there's not one answer to each situation. If you do this happens, you have to develop a sense of this. But that is why we've kind of gone on and we have rambled a little bit, going in different directions and offering different situations. It's because it is this all-encompassing concept. It is a critical piece of Chinese culture that you must understand if you're going to have any success, not in this country, but with these people. And when I say that, again, mianzi has no borders. It is Chinese people anywhere. You need to understand that this is not just when you're in China, right?
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. Because also like things, even if we bring up so many scenarios, I also just hope all people don't need to perceive or don't need to interpret 面子 as a such. I know it can be complicated because it is very flexible. As we talked before, they don't have formulas, so you can't just directly just apply one of those things, one of those cases to your cases. Again, it's different. It's individual stuff. But I want to since we're wrapping up together, I want to I would suggest those people who really want to know more or want to know how to feel 面子 and facial stuff in the context in China. Maybe you can just view 面子 as I think it's a human nature. Like we all want to have the feeling like we're being respected, we're being loved. So to the end, I'm not suggesting that we should all just catering others in order just giving them faces, even if it's beyond our capacity. But just need to, I guess the real master of how to apply those giving faces and not losing your faces and try to protect your own, like your personal interests will be, we all need to figure out like the balance, like why you're trying to like show your respect by giving other people faces in their cultural context. Also not make sure it doesn't go like beyond your
100%. So again, I am probably more for this advocate of like almost this idea of trying to assimilate into a culture, like that level of intensity of you should really learn and adapt it. But as I've already been kind of honest here, is like I sometimes find this concept to be more of a hindrance to life than something that I like about being here, right? Like it's something that I have to be mindful of, but I would prefer if it wasn't like the case. So this is the sort of thing that's like, you do not have to adapt this into your own life now you're kind of counting and tallying all the different relationships you have and making sure you're maintaining this. It's just when you're interacting with Chinese people or those Chinese people who adapt to this more traditional mindset, right? It doesn't have to take over your own life, but you need to understand it at play. And if you really want to get things done in this country, it's not understand the situations, but develop the feeling for it. So any situation that may arise, because it is all encompassing. And I think in the future, we're going to start doing episodes of Mianzi in X context, Mianzi in Y context, because I think it is that critical, right? Like you need to just develop the feeling for it.
Yes, so develop the feeling, like make sure people feel being loved and respect.
Love and respect, the golden rule. All right. Well,
I think it applies to any of the cultural context.
It does.
It's not only in China.
But there's a lot more to it than just love and respect as well. But we're going to get into that next time. So now we're going to wrap it up. And we're going to, all right, 老板, boss. Okay.
Wait. Also, we bring up to also like some like extra bonus. So we haven't mentioned that what if we're like the equal position, we're peers.
I think you playfully go lower, but when you hit, it's even.
Yes.
Okay, all right. On that note, cut.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you next time in whatever we decide to talk about. But there will be a lot. It might not be the next one. It probably isn't the next one. But there will be a lot more on Mianzi, face, and how to navigate this complicated part of life in China, or just interacting with the Chinese wherever you may find them.
Not complicated. How do you select some more like?
慢慢来吧，慢慢来. Slowly understand.
Would be better.
It is, yes. We can paint it in a positive light if you so do, please. All right. 谢谢. Okay. All right. Next time.
Yeah. Until next time.
Until next time. Okay. All right. Let's turn this off. Okay. All right. Bye bye.